Hi guys, in one of my previous videos I've said that I'm planning to get more Altum angels, and my plan was to get several Rio Negro Altum angels, and they were supposed to be wild caught, so I reserved several of them from a very reliable supplier, local supplier. I was quite hesitant to buy wild caught Altum angels because I previously had negative experience with wild Altums, but nevertheless I really wanted to have this Rio Negro Altums because unlike Orinoco Altums or Atabapo Altums, these Rio Negro Altums, they have a lot of red color on their backs, so they have lots of red spots on their backs. They're kind of similar to Manacapuro angels, but they're just not angels, they're Altums with lots of red color. So that I really wanted to have this Rio Negro Altums, and I've reserved several of them. A supplier received a group of them, about 20 of them from Colombia. They were wild caught, and he kept them in quarantine for about 2 weeks, and they all passed away, so they didn't make it through the quarantine because they were really sensitive and they were traveling all the way from Colombia to the UK, so they were all gone. And I've contacted my other supplier from whom I've got my current F1 Orinoco Altums, and he appeared to have a new batch from Germany, quite small ones, the same Orinoco F1 Altum, so I've ordered 5 of them, and today we received. So now you're going to watch us unpacking them. Right, so we have received new Altum angels. I've bought them from a local supplier in England. It's Wildwoods Aquatics, but originally they did arrive from Aquarium Gleiser in Germany, and so they're German-bred F1 Altums. So let's get them opened. So they're quite very well packed. Lots of newspapers. Oh, some extra fish food. They always add quite a bit of fish food, so that's quite a collection this time. -20 degrees, which is low, but it's quite good. Could have been worse because it was -0 Celsius overnight. Should be 5 of them. Oh, that's even warmer. Heat pack is already cold, but not ice cold. $20 as well. $22. That's good. And the final one. 22. So they're all alive. Temperature is quite warm, which is a great sign. It means that the chances that they will catch a disease are quite low, so I will acclimate them right now. So I'm going to add this methylene blue to remove ammonia and to disinfect the new arrivals. Should be about 10 liters of water in this bucket, so I need to add 1 milligram methylene blue. They will now be drip acclimated and they will stay in this bucket for several hours. Because their temperature is quite close to the temperature in the quarantine tank, I have 25 degrees Celsius in quarantine tank and I have about 22 here in their fish bags, so they don't need to spend too much time here. I just want to get them a bit more temperature adapted and maybe acclimated to the new water before I move them to the quarantine tank. New Altums have been in this bucket for about a couple of hours, so the temperature is very similar to the quarantine tank. I've added methylene blue as I've shown you earlier, so the water is a bit dark, but they seem to be doing great, and I will be moving them into the quarantine tank. Our 60-liter planted aquarium will be the quarantine tank. We had here a pair of Cockatoo pistos, but I moved them to a different tank temporarily because they might harass Altums, although they are quite small Cockatoo pistos, but they still can be quite aggressive within this relatively small volume of water. I want Altums to be in this tank for at least a couple of weeks because this is a well-established and mature tank, and I could have set up a new quarantine tank for them. Like, for example, I could have used this tank, it's empty, but it's not very mature, it's not really established, and I don't want them to go into something that's unstable. I want them to spend their quarantine in a mature and established environment. So let's catch them up and get them into this tank. It's been almost half a day after new Altums were introduced to the quarantine tank, and they're still very shy, but they look well. They're settling down to the quarantine tank. They're still very scared, but looking good. I've tried feeding them brine shrimp, frozen brine shrimp, but they wouldn't take it. So right now I'm going to try to give them some of this Tetracolor crisps and see if they're going to eat that. Not really, they're still very scared and I wouldn't expect them to eat anything. I'll try to give something for this. They're interested. Yeah, they take it. So they're potentially interested, but they won't take it probably because they are being filmed and that's not something they're used to. Right, so they're going to stay here for a couple of weeks and I will keep you updated on the progress with their quarantine. I do hope that nothing happens to them during this couple of weeks, and if they're healthy and alive, I will add them to our display tank with other items. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and leave your comments if you have any in the comment section. So I will see you very soon.